From Reynolds Coliseum in Raleigh, North Carolina, it's the number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes and the 6th-ranked NC State Wolfpack. Hello, wrestling fans all over the country. We know you're watching because this is a marquee matchup. I'm Andrew Sanders alongside Ryan Tice. And Ryan, this duel needs really no introduction. You look at the numbers, number 2 versus number 6. That about says it all.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got 8 top 20 versus top 20 matchups. 5 of them will be top 8 versus top 8. That's important because that means both guys are in All-America position for the national tournament.
NC State and Ohio State, this is the main event. You get a look at the numbers, 9 All-Americas, 7 of them coming from Ohio State, including 3 NCAA champions, and we would bet some future NCAA champions will be taking the mat here today, and we waste no time getting it started. And if this is a buffet like Tom Ryan told us before the match, this is like the main course. You're starting off no appetizer. We'll get right into 184 pounds. It's number 2 in the country versus number 3.
Yeah, we're starting off with a filet here to get things started, Andrew, and this is one of those former national champs that you talked about. Miles Martin won the 2016 national title at 174 pounds. Now he's up at 184. Last year he placed 5th at that weight class nationally.
Martin, 23-1 on the year against Pete Renda, 19-1 on the season.
Yeah, Renda took a loss in NC State's last match, his first of the year, so he's trying to get back on track against a guy he's very familiar with. These guys actually wrestled last year while Renda was redshirting at the Midlands tournament, and Renda came out with a 9-2 victory in that one, but Martin was able to get his revenge this summer in a freestyle tournament.
So they're familiar with one another. They split last year. Martin's lone loss of the season came against number 1 ranked Bo Nickel of Penn State, and that was by major decision. So we know that at least for that bout, there was a little bit of gap between number 1 and number 2. Now we're going to see how much of a gap there is maybe between 2 and 3.
Yeah, and this is a match we might see again. I mean, obviously, if they go into the NCAA tournament at 2 and 3, they would meet in the semifinals. And that's what Pat Popolizio, the NC State coach, had in mind when he scheduled this. Virginia Tech on Friday for the ACC Dual Championship, Ohio State on Sunday. And he said some guys, this is going to be like the semifinals and finals for them. Other guys, it will be like the first and second round at the NCAA championships.
Yeah, all the credit in the world to both of these coaches for scheduling this. It's such a treat for wrestling fans across the country. Final weekend of the regular season to get to see number 2 versus number 6. And really both coaches, they want to test their guys going into, obviously, conference championships and then the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Tom Ryan, the Ohio State head coach, told us, he said, we got to have good duels in the sport of wrestling, and this is going to be a great one right here.
He said we need this in the sport. We wanted to come here to Raleigh, have tremendous respect for both Pat Popolizio and NC State Athletic Director Debbie Yao.
Yeah,
she's done for the sport.
Yeah, she's a huge name in the sport. I know she's served on a couple of different boards, and everyone in wrestling loves Debbie Yao.
30 seconds left in the first period. Both Martin and Renda kind of feeling each other out so far. Martin in with the shot.
Renda right over top with that crotch lock.
He doesn't have much time to finish this here. And Coach Ryan wants some swipes. Renda just trying to hold on for dear life. 7 seconds left.
Martin's got that foot scooped.
And there's 2. He didn't have much time to finish it, but Martin did with 2 seconds on the clock. That is huge for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, he struck first and got those points right before time ran out. That's big. And look at Martin. He wants to go back in neutral when he had choice. He does not want to be underneath Pete Renda, who is so good on top.
So an interesting choice there. Martin, by the way, obviously in the Big Ten, you're going to be tested a lot, but based on his numbers, he hasn't been tested that much this year. In 20 of his 23 wins, they've been by bonus points. He's got 10 tech falls and 4 pins as well. So he has been absolutely dominant, but has a great opponent today in Pete Renda. And just bowls him out of the circle.
I was going to say that I would expect a stall call to come off of that one, and Renda does get hit for that, his first of the match. No points yet, but the second one will result in a point for his opponent.
So Martin in a good spot leading this one off. And you would think, obviously, that anytime you have a number 2 against number 3, as Martin once again is in on that ankle.
No points yet. Renda getting a little funky, trying to prevent the points from happening. But it's going to be tough for him to hold Martin off on this one.
Martin looking to get him on that back.
So there is the 2 for the takedown, but Renda is still not in a great spot here.
Trying to get that foot free. Martin will not let it go. And Pat Popolizio just threw out the challenge brick.
Obviously does not think that was a takedown.
And so our officials are going to go to the monitor and take a look at it. As it stands right now, 4-0 Miles Martin.
So we're going to the video review.
Martin right now looking pretty comfortable. Pete Renda on the other side might have had a little bloody nose, getting tended to by the trainer.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if there was a cut on his nose or the nose itself was, bleeding from the inside. But you see now, that there.
Obviously, Pat Popolizio wants this call to be overturned, but also this is a chance maybe to give Renda a little bit of a breather and pretty much a free timeout for him to go and give some instructions.
Yeah,
These are
absolutely.
2 of the top coaches in the country.
Absolutely, yeah. So there might be a little strategy ploy there, but I'm really interested to see what the referees are going to come to a decision here. I mean, that was a tight one there. And you see that's where the ref awarded the 2. Nothing there, nothing there. And right there he awards it while Renda is still in on the ankle pretty deep.
And they're taking a good long look at this, and this is the exact video that they're looking at.
I'm not sure if you can call that establishing control. Looks like the referees have reached their decision.
And the NC State fans right in front of the table that could hear it first started clapping, so that gave you a good idea of what the decision was going to be. So they wiped that off. The clock stays the same, and it is just a 2-0 lead. Remember, Renda does have the stall warning.
Good challenge there from NC State. I mean, when he awarded the 2, it didn't seem like anything had changed that much to establish control. And like you mentioned, partner, it maybe gave Renda a little bit of a blow, give him a chance to regroup. But now he's got new life. He was looking at a 4-0 hole, now it's only 2-0.
So because that was ruled not a takedown, they wiped off a little ride time. It's just 17 seconds for Martin, not a factor at this point. And we'll go to the 3rd period. So far, we haven't seen much aggression out of Renda. It's just been those 2 shots from Martin.
Yeah, that's the difference right now in this one. And it looks like the NC State coaches are asking the refs to clarify something. Maybe riding time? I'm really not sure what they were discussing there.
And they changed it. I think they changed the ride time, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. So the riding time is down to 2 seconds for Miles Martin.
And obviously going up here is Renda's on bottom.
Renda's trying to work up to his feet, but Martin is just so strong on top. You see that pressure he's applying to Pete Renda. And we'll have another restart.
Ride time up to 33 seconds now for Martin.
It's a good thing that NC State got that 15 seconds wiped off there because otherwise Martin would be very, very close to getting a minute.
Renda again returned to the mat, back on his feet. Martin being relentless.
That was the best motion Renda had off the whistle, but still not quite enough to get out, and there it is right there.
All right, so it's all out there in front of you now. 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Martin looking to defend.
Yeah,
Renda needing a takedown.
It's important to note riding time is not a factor here. Martin has 46.5 seconds on the clock right now.
We really haven't seen any offense from Renda in this bout.
No, he hasn't taken a real shot yet. So he's going to have to get his offense going here.
Again, he lost for the first time this season on Friday. This is a very close match for Martin. Again, generally he wins by blowout.
There's a shot.
In with the shot. Martin defends.
Martin trying to sit around. He's got the ankle scooped. Renda's going to have to pop out here and try to come out.
15 seconds. They get funky. And there's 2 for Martin. Getting back points. Four swipes. And he was 3 seconds short of a major decision with ride time.
Yeah, he ends up at 57.2, so Miles Martin just misses another bonus point win against a high-quality opponent in number 3, Pete Renda. You saw Renda go for the shot there. Martin was able to sit around and then turned it into his own offense with that cradle.
Yeah, Renda found himself in a tough spot. As here's a look at the head coach, the skip, Pat Popolizio. What a job he has done here at NC State, taking a program with a lot of good history, hadn't been good recently, and has built them into a top 10 powerhouse now. And he has routinely scheduled the best of the best. They've wrestled at Iowa, at Oklahoma State. Could go on, and obviously that continues here today against Ohio State. At 197 pounds, it's number 1 Colin Moore against number 7 Michael Machiavello. Machiavello in early. Trying to sweep the leg. Oh, Moore is so tough.
What a job on the defense there from Moore. That's why you see the number 1 next to his name. Just able to put his foot back down on the mat and stay out of trouble.
You don't see many guys get out of that.
Especially against a guy like Machiavello who, I mean, you can tell just by looking at him, that guy is strong.
Moore in with a shot of his own. Machiavello defends well. By the way, you can hear this is a tremendous crowd. Not many empty seats in Reynolds Coliseum. And obviously NC State very well represented because of the home team, but a good number of Ohio State fans here as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of red in this building, 2 different shades of it, but
red and scarlet.
That's right. That's right. I tell you, though, this, I mean, just on first look, this looks like a far bigger crowd than we had for the UNC match 2 weeks ago, and that set the Reynolds Coliseum wrestling record with over 2,100 people in here. Machiavello back down to that front headlock, but not able to use it to his advantage.
Ohio State with a 3-0 team score lead after number 2 Miles Martin defeated Pete Renda 8-1. It was a much, much closer bout than that if you just turned us on here on the ACC Network Extra. But Renda found himself in a tough spot, down 1 point with 15 seconds to go, went in for a shot, and Martin got him on a counterattack and ended up with a takedown and then 4 back points.
And just missed the major decision, as we noted, by 3 riding seconds.
So 184 was outstanding as we expected, and much like at 184 here at 97, no score early in the first period, but still a lot of action.
Yeah, and look at Machiavello in on the reshot, not quite able to finish.
And a stall call. And
they're going to issue it to Machiavello. And Pat Papalizio running over to the table saying, "Are you kidding me?"
I just assumed that he put up the wrong hand. How would that be a stall on Machiavello?
Because the referee is saying Machiavello just pushed him out. I can't say I agree with it, but that's what the ruling is.
So at least I'm interested to hear what you think. But I saw, as he was coming towards us, by the way, at the table, if Machiavello had continued, if he had a little more mat, I think he would have been able to maybe send him to the mat. However, he ran out of real estate. The table's coming up. Yeah, I thought that factored into his decision. Right here, he realizes I'm out of real estate. If I pick him up now, we're going to go off the mat completely.
Yeah, I can't say I agree with that call. I don't know what else to say other than that. I mean, that's a tough one for Machiavello. And then you see Moore just in on a shot and immediately finishes.
Just like at 184 pounds. A takedown with 2 seconds left for the Ohio State wrestler, and it's number 1 ranked Colin Moore. And Machiavello with just a subtle, slight shake of the head there. He's got to be frustrated with how well he wrestled, and he still finds himself down 2-0.
Yeah, and then he's in a 2-0 hole.
Make it 3-0 as Moore gets a quick escape.
I think more than that takedown he gave up, though, he's a little bit more frustrated by that stalling call for pushing his opponent out. So unnecessary roughness, it looks like, is going to be the call here against Moore. That's a point for Machiavello. I tell you, this is a little bit of a change from our last one, but Machiavello has been very aggressive.
He has.
And Tom Ryan not liking that call. He's giving it to the other referee on the other side of the mat, close to his bench.
And you have to like the mindset, have to respect it from Machiavello. Hey, you're going up against number 1 in the country. Why not just be aggressive? Go for it.
Exactly. And he had a tough loss against Virginia Tech here on Friday. That was a 1-1 match, and then he picked up his second stalling call and lost 2-1 to Jared Hott, the guy that's ranked number 2 in the country. So what a weekend for Machiavello, wrestling number 1 and number 2. Quite a bit of hand fighting going on here in the center, but neither guy able to open his opponent up quite yet. You can tell this is high-level wrestling. One guy shoots, he defends it, and then he's in on a shot of his own right away. This is just great wrestling.
Pretty much all 10 bouts that we're going to see this afternoon are going to be NCAA tournament level.
Absolutely. It's just a matter of how deep that match is like.
Machiavello out in just 7 seconds. Ride time not a factor right now.
Only 8 seconds for Moore.
But so far, almost 2 full bouts in, no NC State wrestler has scored a takedown yet.
That's right.
And that's what Machiavello is going to need. Moore getting his offense going, trying to drive.
What defense there from Machiavello. These guys are just going back and forth.
Looked like he was in trouble, and he got the sprawl.
Nearly able to get a shot off of that front headlock by shucking it by, but not quite able to get to the legs.
I like to see the aggression from Colin Moore. He's number 1 in the country. He's not going to just try and salt away a 3-2 victory. He's going to look for another takedown. We saw it there. He nearly had it.
No question about it.
And now Moore is hit with a stall warning.
That's all because of how aggressive Machiavello's been.
Machiavello continues the action.
And he's really going to have to work hard if he's going to try to draw another stall call here.
Moore in with a shot. Machiavello trying to circle. Fans want to stall here. Another stall.
He got the stall call, and here's the takedown.
Now here's the takedown. What a turnaround for Machiavello.
And you see Machiavello is going to get tagged for a point there. What the call is locked hands. So after he secured the takedown, his hands were still locked. That's a technical violation and 1 point for your opponent. But of course, it's a 5-4 advantage for Machiavello right now.
What a turn of events. Number 1, Colin Moore, has lost just one time all year long. With 16 seconds left, he's trailing by 1. So that locked hands call is huge because now he can be on bottom and get the escape. Machiavello has to ride him out.
And remember, he's already got
There's the escape. Machiavello in again. Can he finish? Yes, he can. It's over. Wow.
What a match. Here's that takedown right after picking up the stalling call, and he's able to just slink his way to the edge and get it. And then you see that's where he had his hands locked. The ref right on top of the action, making the right call there. But then that second takedown, Machiavello, wow.
Michael Machiavello takes down Colin Moore twice in the last 20 seconds of the bout to win it. And now, if you can catch your breath, partner, we move to the heavyweights where 19th ranked Michael Boykin coming off an overtime takedown to give NC State the 2018 ACC Dual Championship against second-ranked Kyle Snyder. But as you were talking to me before the broadcast, he might be the best wrestler in the world right now.
He really might be. He's a 3-time world and Olympic champion. And the NC State fans know Kyle Snyder well. He, of course, is the man who beat former 2-time champion Nick Gwizdowski in that epic 2016 NCAA championship match.
And Nick Gwizdowski is here in the building tonight. Snyder and Gwizdowski shook hands, exchanged pleasantries before this one. Also, it's just crazy to see the rock star, there's Gwiz, but getting back to Snyder, he has sort of a rock star aura about him where he is an opponent. He is a visiting wrestler in this arena, and yet he came out for warm-ups and he got people standing up and clapping.
Yeah, no question about it.
People are excited to see him here.
Those weren't just Buckeye fans either. No. I think it was the Wolfpack fans just kind of giving him a little nod and appreciating what he's done for not only his country but this sport. I mean, it's so phenomenal what Kyle Snyder has done. The youngest U.S. wrestler to ever win a world and Olympic title.
And coming off winning their Euregan once again out in Russia, the toughest event on the planet, they say.
And the first American to ever win back-to-back, American male to win back-to-back titles there.
His resume is truly incredible. But Boykin is coming off a big win, and he's looking to spring what would be a monstrous upset.
Yeah, no question about it. Kyle Snyder had not lost since in college since the 2015 NCAA Finals before he got beat by Michigan's Adam Kuhn. I believe that was February 11th.
Just last week. Hard to believe. Hadn't lost in 3 years. And it was Snyder and Gwizdowski and Kuhn. Those three were always at the top of the heavyweight in college. And last week, it was Kuhn scoring the upset. So I guess he showed that Kyle Snyder is beatable.
Yeah, maybe the first time the wrestling community saw that Kyle Snyder just might be a human. Might. is the key word.
But, I mean, the old cliche, like once in a blue moon, I mean, there's more than one blue moon in 3 years, right? He loses less often than once in a blue moon.
Yeah, exactly. No question about that. And you see him in on a shot.
And he finishes on Boykin. So Boykin wrestled really hard in that first period. And once again, that's the third bout. It's the third time a Buckeye has scored a late takedown.
Yeah, that's always the sign of mental toughness there. When you can dance around, hand fight, 0-0 until the last couple seconds, and then you strike and get the takedown, that's always huge.
So we've spoken of his resume. What in your mind makes Kyle Snyder so good?
I mean, it's everything. He is the total package. Strong, speed, he's as quick as they come. You see he's a little undersized at the heavyweight position here, but you wouldn't know it the way he's able to just pick guys up and manhandle them still while giving up 50, 60 pounds.
And talking to Coach Ryan, as Snyder once again will score on Boykin. And he'll cut him here.
That shouldn't have been an escape there.
And
if Boykin doesn't get up, Snyder's going to keep doing that.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Right. If the ref awards the escape, you can do that and get another two. So, I mean, there's not many guys more savvy than Kyle Snyder with as much as he has wrestled over the last couple years and against such tough competition.
And he's so quick, you see it. Boykin just tried to rush him there.
Yeah, I can't imagine Snyder ever wrestles a better athlete. And he's just going to keep doing that.
Gave the escape.
If Boykin doesn't get up.
Boykin's got to get up. Snyder. The headgear's off.
Snyder not used to wearing that headgear. You don't have to do that in international wrestling. You don't have to wear it.
He only missed a couple duels while he was out there wrestling in Russia. Two more for Snyder.
Snyder peeking up at the clock saying, should I cut him or should I not? And there's the cut. Ref didn't award the escape that time, though, so no two for the takedown, and I think Snyder's just going to ride it out.
And Snyder just went above a minute in ride time, which is hard to believe considering the 5 takedowns he's had in this period?
Yeah, it's really impressive. And you see at the end of
it's cut, catch and release, basically.
Exactly. That's a good way to describe it. And Boykin did get hit for a stalling call there at the end of the period as well. So important to note that.
Michael Boykin coming off probably the biggest moment in his college wrestling career when you've got the entire ACC dual championship on your back in overtime to score that takedown. And then 2 days later, has to face Snyder.
Yeah, and the other thing to note about that win that Boykin had over Virginia Tech, he lost to that same kid earlier in the year in an overtime match. So that just even adds to the significance of it even more. Boykin in on a shot, finally.
And they go all the way to the table. And Boykin finished it.
And just that alone, getting in on an Olympic champion and almost nearly getting the takedown can be a huge confidence builder for Boykin going forward. I mean, that was a great shot. Kyle Snyder probably doesn't have too many guys get in on his legs like that, especially at the college level. Ooh, you see his power there.
Yes.
Just pancake Boykin.
He's up 10.
And Boykin's going to have to base up or he's going to get hit again.
He gets the escape.
And there is the second.
Will. So it's 10 right now plus the ride time. And Snyder still has plenty of time here, especially at the rate that he's been able to get these takedowns.
I was going to say, I don't think you ever see Kyle Snyder slow down, so he's not going to stop working until that clock hits 000.
It's not just the size with him. It's not just the speed. It's the gas tank as well.
Yeah, it's everything. I mean, he is at the elite of the elite levels in every category that you want for a wrestler.
They get a little funky. 2 awarded to Snyder. He gets that foot out, takes a peek at the clock as it ticks under 30 seconds.
And he's just working that front headlock so well.
And you can see Boykin is tired at this point.
And he's going to keep cutting him until...
And he's going to get a tech fall here. That will do it as long as Boykin doesn't escape. And Snyder's just going to stay on top of him. 14 points plus the ride time.
I was going to say, Boykin's not really working for that escape right now even, so...
23-8, Kyle Snyder dominates number 19, Michael Boykin.
And that's what you expect out of the Olympic champ. Putting up a lot of points, and he's just so dangerous with that front headlock. And like you mentioned, partner, that gas tank is really, really impressive.
There's Tom Ryan, the Ohio State head coach in his 12th year, 2-time NCAA Coach of the Year. And you see what they did back in 2015. And by the way, this is as good a time as any to talk about it as we roll into 125 pounds, which is another top 5 matchup. But I want to get this in. The NCAA championships are being hosted in Cleveland, Ohio. You look at it right now, Ohio State's number 2. Penn State's unbeaten. But Ohio State took them down to the wire. They've got the home mat advantage, if you will. They might just have to be your NCAA champion favorites.
Yeah, and I think you can argue that they have a little bit more depth throughout the lineup than Penn State does.
I would.
The Buckeyes have 10 legitimate All-America candidates, but let's focus on this 125 match. This should be a great one right here.
It's going to be a good one. Nathan Tomasello, a redshirt senior, against redshirt junior Sean Fowles. Tomasello, number 4, Fowles, number 5. Tomasello was ranked number 1 in the country. He's 6-1 on the season. But he did lose to Spencer Lee of Iowa. That dropped him a little bit in the rankings.
Yeah, and Tomasello got a little bit of a look at Fowles in on a shot.
There's 2 for Fowles.
I was going to say Tomasello got a little bit of a late start to the season due to an injury, but he's come back and looked like his old self. He is, of course, the 2015 NCAA champion. Since then, he's twice placed 3rd at the national tournament, including last year at 133 pounds. Now he's back down to his more natural weight.
And Fowles of NC State has not wrestled all that much this year anyways, either. He's only 12-1.
Yeah, you can see Fowles is just so huge for a 25-pounder. They're just selective about when he weighs in and wrestles. But Tomasello in on a shot immediately. And Fowles doing everything he can to avoid getting taken down, but that's so tough. I mean, Tomasello is a bulldog with that leg up in the air. And he's going to pull him back in and start walking him to the center, so he's got plenty of room to finish.
Kicks that leg out and drives through. Now he's trying to look for a turn.
Yeah, he was trying to. There he goes.
And he does get it. Did they get 2 swipes? Yes. And he hasn't changed that hold yet.
That's right. So he can't. There it is. He released it, so he gets his 2 backers. That was an impressive roll-through tilt there from Tomasello.
After Fowles was the early aggressor, Tomasello comes right back. And now NC State, their bench looking for stalling, but Fowles escapes. Such high-level wrestling. We just saw the big guys go, and there was a ton of action. And now we go down all the way to 125 pounds. And just as you would expect, there's even more.
Absolutely. And Tomasello, what a finish there. No points yet.
Still neutral.
And that leg scoop. Nope. I was going to say that might give it to him, but the referee still saying not quite yet. And Fowles is fighting his tail off. Getting funky, going through the roll under. No takedown there at the end of the period. But another time, Ohio State nearly gets a takedown.
I was just going to say, you had to feel like Tomasello was going to score that too based on with 2 seconds left. That's been the trend. But saved by the bell is Sean Faust.
And the Ohio State coaching staff over there talking to our referee just to clear everything up.
And they haven't reached for the challenge brick yet. This is just a conversation right now. Boy, what an atmosphere this is in Reynolds Coliseum. You look up here in the corners and the seats are filled.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is as full as I have ever seen Reynolds Coliseum at any point for a wrestling match.
Nick Gwizdowski looking on for NC State.
Could even see former WWE wrestler Hurricane Helms in the background there of that shot. He's a big-time supporter of the Wolfpack wrestling program.
And a caution to Tomasello. Got his engine started a little early there. Faust couldn't get that right leg up and over, and that allows Tomasello to his feet, and he escapes.
That doesn't happen against Falls many times. He's so good on top. Tomasello able to keep his motion up and get out, though.
Tomasello, part of the Buckeye trio. He, Kyle Snyder, whom we just saw, and Bo Jordan, who we'll see a little later on, trying to do something that no group has ever done in NCAA wrestling history, trying to be 3 teammates to earn their 4th All-America statuses.
Wow.
In the same season.
Yeah, and Ohio State head coach Tom Ryan told us before the match, those guys are the building blocks for his program. Those guys are the studs, and they perform like it in every regard.
And obviously they're wrestling for a lot of reasons. They wanted to come and wrestle for NC State to get ready for the Big Ten championship and then the NCAA championships. But also he said, we want to send these seniors out on a high note.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to win every time you step on the mat, and this is no different for Ohio State. And this is just a treat for the wrestling community to have 2 strong programs like this, willing to mix it up on the final weekend of the regular season.
And we've welcomed viewers all across the country because we know it's not just viewers in Columbus and in Raleigh that are tuning in. If you're a college wrestling fan, this is the one you're watching.
Yeah, so many great matches like that first one we saw, Pete Renda and Miles Martin. Fowles almost able to spin around and get the 2 there.
Tomasello fends it off, and through 2 periods, he's been in control, leads it 6-3. Just 7 seconds, the ride time advantage for Tomasello.
I was going to say that's going to be a second caution against Tomasello. No points yet, obviously.
Yeah, but one on bottom, now one on top.
Yeah, he's going to have to watch himself, and I almost thought he had a little tight waist there to start with, but.
Quick escape for Faust.
Tomasello so good, just snatching that single up.
Oh, and he had him on his back for a moment. Faust just had to roll over. Another takedown gives Tomasello firm control of this one.
Yeah, he's starting to break it open here. Faust is going to have to get out and get back to work in neutral quickly.
And this is a great test for Faust because, again, there's the number 4 next to Tomasello's name, but had been previously ranked number 1. It wouldn't surprise many people at all if he went and at least wrestled in the final, or obviously could win it.
I was going to say, you got to. It'll be interesting to see where he ranks going in the Nationals because that's always such a big part of the NCAA championships is where you're seated.
Right.
And in the last coaches panel rankings, Tomasello was down at like number 14 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, he's a lot better than that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think he's at the worst a top 3 guy in his weight class. He's never finished lower than third at the NCAA championships. And that's including when he was up a weight class last year.
Faust trying to get some offense going. He doesn't have a lot of time left.
Stalemate is called, so we'll come back up to a neutral restart, but short time here for Faust.
If you just tuned in, we've already seen number 2 beat number 3 at 184 pounds. We saw number 1 get upset at 197 pounds, and we saw greatness at the heavyweight, Kyle Snyder, win by tech fall. And Tomasello working on Faust here right at the buzzer. He'll pick up a 12-6 decision. So Ohio State takes an 11-3 advantage. By the way, for those of you watching, Ohio State's got to get back home. So there is not going to be your typical intermission that you'll have, which is just all the better. Why even take a 5-minute break? Let's just keep it going. We'll do 10 bouts all in a row.
That's right. No reason to stop the wrestling. Just roll from one great matchup to the next. And that's going to be the game plan today.
Couple of second-year wrestlers here. Number 3, Luke Pletcher against 13th ranked Tariq Wilson. Wilson's got that leg early.
Yeah, Tariq Wilson wasted no time, and there's a trip for the finish.
Oh, he didn't finish.
No takedown awarded, excuse me.
How did Pletcher hop back up like that?
I tell you, when you get to these lower weight classes, the type of athletes these guys are is just incredible.
Yeah.
Wilson still got that leg up, and he's got Pletcher in a not a great position, but he's got to finish here. Goes for the trip again. He's going to get it that time.
Now Pletcher's out in a hurry, but it's Wilson who scores the first takedown.
And you see, just like was the case at 125, NC State's got a big-time height advantage here. They've got a lot of long, lanky, wiry wrestlers here at the lower weight classes. And both Tomasello and Pletcher are just these, strong brick houses at 125 and 133.
Wilson is from the state of Ohio. He's from Steubenville. Might have a little extra going against Ohio State here as Pletcher gets behind and puts Wilson flat on his stomach.
And he's got that bar on the left side, which could be trouble for Wilson, but he's out. He's back up to his feet, excuse me.
Pat Popolizio calling for a stall.
Yeah, Pletcher needed to go for a mat return or get hit with a stall there, and he does just cut him.
3-3, both guys scoring takedowns so far. This has been fun. I mean, this has been college wrestling really at its best.
Yeah, no
so
question.
Far.
No question. We knew it would be a good one coming in, but I don't know if many people were giving Michael Machiavello a shot to upset number 1 at 197, and that's what we got.
And it wasn't that, he got a 3-2 lead and just played defense, He scored 2 takedowns in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, action-packed. And, he was in such a tough position. What a shuck by there from Pletcher to get the takedown. And, again, 13 seconds left in the first period, and Ohio State strikes with a 2.
Talking about the quality of athletes.
Whoa.
That was a nimble move from Pletcher. It's interesting going into this matchup. NC State in the last 3 seasons, 51-4 in duels, which is second in the country to only Penn State, who is undefeated during that time at 43-0.
Yeah, and what a lot of people would say to that is, well, the ACC isn't that tough in wrestling, but NC State has gone out of conference and challenged themselves. Oklahoma State, Iowa, I mean, they have had no problem wrestling the blue bloods of college wrestling and normally having success.
They should wrestle Penn State soon, though, because I think Ohio State people would say, well, we would be above 51-4 if we didn't have to wrestle Penn State every year.
Yeah, and I mean, the Big Ten is just such a meat grinder.
Yes.
I mean, there's just top 10 team after top 10 team in that league.
But again, the depth of the Buckeyes this year, and really when you look at their 10-man lineup, there's low numbers all over the place.
Yeah, the lowest ranked guy is number 14 in the national rankings with Tayshawn Campbell.
So while that stat that I gave is over the last 3 seasons, I think if you look at it right now, just today, top to bottom, who has the best lineup, it's the Buckeyes.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, Penn State's got some holes at 125 and 133, and you go up and down this Buckeye lineup, there is not a hole in it.
And Pletcher, not there yet.
Great defense there from Tariq Wilson, the young redshirt freshman.
We've seen both wrestlers hopping on one leg, get that leg knocked out, and not get scored on.
Yeah, it's incredible. That's why you can never stop in a wrestling match, especially at this level when you've got ranked guys versus ranked guys.
Got to think for confidence and momentum. Wilson needs a takedown here in the last 20 seconds of the second period.
Yeah, he needs to do what Ohio State's been doing every match.
Yeah.
Getting that takedown at the end of a period.
Pletcher tried that shuck move again.
Yeah, not going this time. Wilson's seen it now. Pletcher takes a peek at the clock and sees 3 seconds left.
Two minutes left.
Pletcher's another guy that's coming off a loss in his last match against Michigan. A couple Ohio State guys were upset in that one, so when we were talking to Coach Ryan beforehand, we said, is this kind of a good thing? They give him a chance to get back on track before Big Tens, and he said, yes, it's a great thing for them to be able to do that.
Yeah, lost to fifth-ranked Steven Michich, and yeah, he said, you can look at us and say, hey, maybe we've been a little flat. And it is, when you have such a good room and so much talent, you're blowing out other teams, it's easy to get a little complacent.
Yeah, no doubt.
Obviously, they got up for Michigan. Ohio State's always going to get up for Michigan.
Yep.
But you're right, having some guys upset, maybe that will kind of reset them just before the NCAAs.
And they went into some hostile environments in their last 2 matches, too, with Penn State and Michigan.
They had to wrestle at Penn State, in Ann Arbor, here in Raleigh now.
Road warriors this year.
It's funny because they're so battle-tested on the road, and yet they're going to be wrestling NCAAs right at home.
There you go.
Pletcher in complete control. Just trying to ride out this third period.
Yeah, Wilson's going to have to get his motion going here right off the whistle. You don't want to give Pletcher a chance to break you down to your stomach. He was trying to work that bar, and that is not a good spot to be. Another caution against Pletcher is first. Good job by Wilson getting up to his feet. Now he's got to start getting his hips away. And Pletcher able to use that back heel trip and put him right back down on the mat. A little bit of motion there from Wilson trying to switch, but nothing doing, and this might be trouble. Pletcher's got the Turk.
Does he have time? Looks like Wilson's going to do just enough to prevent the back points and keep it to just a decision. 2 minutes and 15 seconds of ride time, the most we've seen in any bout tonight. And it is number 3, Luke Pletcher, the sophomore from Pennsylvania, who improves to 23-1 on the season. Bounces back after a loss and gives Ohio State a 14-3 lead. And here is Kevin Jack of NC State. Can't say enough about his career. This, we started at 2 versus 3 at 184, but 141, Coach Ryan said he thinks this is the bout of the night.
Yeah, it really might be. These are 2 former third-place finishers at the national tournament at 141 pounds, and 2 guys who, wow, McKenna not wasting any time, 2 guys who have never wrestled in college yet.
Well, they don't waste any time getting acquainted.
And there's
the takedown. Joey McKenna looking to prove something here against Kevin Jack.
Jack not quite able to do enough to get out there. McKenna still in control here.
Look close to a reversal.
For a second, and then McKenna was right back in on top, in control. 2 years ago, McKenna was a third-place finisher at the national tournament while wrestling at Stanford. And then last year, Kevin Jack was the third-place finisher at 141 pounds.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that these guys haven't come across one another yet.
It's crazy because they've both been at 141 their entire careers. But there's just not enough tournaments that both NC State and Stanford were at. Obviously, McKenna now at Ohio State. You see Jack get that escape to make it 2-1.
Kevin Jack, very similar to Miles Martin in that he wins often, and often he wins big. This might be a much more low-scoring affair.
Yeah, he's able to put up points in a hurry against most of his competition, but this is a different type of opponent here.
Stalemate called. They'll stand them back up. So McKenna comes into this one as a slight underdog. What does it do for his confidence to get that takedown, 10 seconds in?
Yeah, that's huge going forward. I mean, you can't ask for a better start than a match to get in right away and be able to finish against a guy who has the defensive prowess as Kevin Jack does. I mean, he is so tough to score on. But McKenna knows he can do it now.
Couple of stalemates.
A little poke in the eye there. So
this crowd was electric after the Michael Machiavello upset of Colin Moore. Since then, Ohio State has won the last 3 bouts, and it's quieted down.
Yeah, Kevin Jack going to try to bring Reynolds Coliseum back to life here, but he has got a tough test in front of him. See both guys kind of putting their hand on the mat and just staying low.
Ooh. Oh, they both shoot at the same time. Huge collision. Here's some oohs from the crowd. And how about McKenna? He comes out on top as they clashed like a couple of rams right there.
Yeah, that was head to head, and I mean you could just hear the impact when they collided. McKenna able to come out on the better side, and you see Jack kind of wincing his eyes there a little bit. Great shot from our camera crew, but you have to wonder if he's still feeling the effects of that collision. Rolling his neck out now a little bit.
Neck, yeah.
Might have bit his lip, too.
Both guys were feigning shots, yep. 3, 4, 5 times, and then they both went at the same instant.
And Jack does that a lot, too. When someone shoots in on him and he sees it coming, he starts shooting, and sometimes that's how it works out right there.
But how about McKenna? He's got both takedowns so far. And if Jack is a little stunned by that collision or not, he's definitely stunned by the scoreline.
Absolutely.
He's got an uphill climb to make.
He has not been in a 4-1 hole in a long, long time. But you see him just kind of walking calmly back to the center of the mat. I don't think he's fazed by it quite yet.
Still 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this one. Plenty of time. And he scores his second point on an escape.
And Michael Machiavello at 197 pounds showed us how long 20 seconds can be in a wrestling match.
Right. Once again with these lower weights, NC State with a length advantage in this one.
Yeah, Pat Popolizio loves recruiting those long, lanky guys. And they know they've got a system where it works great for them. Another stalemate here, and we'll have another restart back in the center.
The ride time in McKenna's favor, 1 minute and 20 seconds. There's 30 seconds left in the second period.
And you see how low both these guys can get. And McKenna in on a shot. Not deep enough to finish, though. These guys look pretty content to go into the final period at 4-2.
Yeah, absolutely. So with 2 minutes left, Joey McKenna has gotten the best of Kevin Jack so far.
And McKenna chose neutral there to start this period, did not want to be underneath of Kevin Jack, who was just a hammer on top. You see McKenna's got that right arm of Kevin Jack's trapped, and he's got it deep. Not able to do anything with it, though. That is the one thing with Kevin Jack's height advantage. McKenna can get a little bit lower than him, just naturally, and then both guys have been wrestling with their hand on the mat. Jack able to go pretty low himself, though.
And 1 point awarded to McKenna.
Wow, the second time.
That's the roughness.
Yeah, the second time we've seen the ref call that for guys getting hands in his opponent's face. I didn't think that was that malicious, but that was the call.
So Kevin Jack, a guy who usually has plenty of offense, hasn't had any so far. He's only 2 points, 2 escapes, followed by McKenna takedowns. As we go under a minute here in Reynolds Coliseum.
And how low McKenna can be, I think, is causing Jack a couple problems here with just how tall he is.
The angle trying to get down that far, and then you see McKenna backing up, able to sprawl very well.
The ref did give McKenna a stall warning there, just his first.
Jack needs some back points here.
Yeah, he might be trying to set up something big here instead of just going for the 2, because he needs more than that.
Down 3, essentially 4 with the ride time.
Yeah.
He's going to have to get back points. There's not enough time for takedowns and cuts.
Yeah, McKenna does have 120.8 of ride time right now.
And at this point, if I'm McKenna, I'll take a stalling. That's fine.
Just 1 point. Give it up.
And it doesn't look like it's going to happen for Kevin Jack.
Yeah, a little frustration there from Jack as he peeks at the clock and sees how little time is left.
Joey McKenna upsets second-ranked Kevin Jack. What a performance from McKenna. He's now 12-1 on the season. And it really started from the very beginning. He was in on a shot, took control of the match, and was able to just salt it away.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that was immediately he was in on a shot. As we see here, able to finish that takedown and get the 2 against Kevin Jack. I mean, Joey McKenna's a guy that is better than what the paper says he is with that number 7 next to his name. He is a guy nobody wants to run into at the NCAA championships.
Coach Ryan told us, he said, I think that's the best bout of the night. And McKenna will definitely fire up Coach Ryan there, the way he controlled that one.
Yeah, and Hayes, just like his teammate, Joey McKenna, in on a shot early.
Number 6, Keyshawn Hayes against number 13, Bo Donahue.
Donahue able to break away for a second. And then Hayes right back in on it.
4 straight wins reeled off by the Buckeyes.
Donahue can really scramble.
Hayes, much like Miles Martin, has gotten some big wins this year. 8 tech falls to his name, which ranks him in the top 5 in the NCAA. Mm. 2 points for Hayes.
I really thought that should have been a locked hands call too. He had his hands locked around Donahue's waist as he completed the takedown. The ref not in position to see that, but a great takedown there from Hayes.
The redshirt sophomore from Kansas City. He has been beaten 4 times this year. But boy, if Ohio State was thinking, hey, we've been a little flat, got to win on the road against 4th-ranked Michigan, and that's with them saying, hey, maybe we were a little flat.
Yeah,
they could still beat number 4 on the road.
Yeah, and there was no flatness here tonight.
No, this has been an absolute clinic by the Buckeyes.
And several of those first periods, we had scoreless first periods until the very last seconds, and Ohio State able to pounce and take advantage, and that's been huge throughout a couple of bouts. Hayes trying to work that 2-on-1, going with a couple different ties, just not quite able to get past Donahue's defense except for that once.
After Michael Machiavello's upset of number 1 Colin Moore, almost his entire place was on its feet except for Ohio State fans. A huge roar. Since then, very quiet.
Yeah, it's been all Buckeyes since then. Hayes is a guy that was ranked pretty high up in the national rankings last season. Before getting hurt, he was 5-1 when he got hurt.
That'll end the first period. Ohio State's Keyshawn Hayes up 2-1. Right time for Hayes, 23 seconds right now. And again, the team score, Ohio State 17, NC State 3.
Yeah, and NC State can normally count on some team points from Kevin Jack, usually at least 3 of them. Not able to get that tonight, and They are in a hole. Hayes has got that leg in on the left side, making it real tough for Donahue, and there he is, breaking him down all the way to his stomach. Now he's got the leg in on the right side, but Donahue's still with the head on the mat, and that's going to have to change if he wants to get out.
Hayes is up over a minute of ride time now, minute and 10 seconds and counting.
Hayes is going to have to work up from that leg or he's going to get a stall call.
He does work up from it. No, they do give him a stall. And Ohio State immediately, Coach Ryan, they throw the brick out there. They're going to challenge that. And right as you were saying, he's got to work up that leg. It's like he heard you.
Yeah, I guess so. He knew the situation.
Sure.
He knows he's got 5 seconds to work up. And it was pretty bang-bang there, but the ref did put that fist up to indicate the stall call right before Hayes was able to do that. So they will go to the monitor.
This is the first time we've seen Ohio State challenge so far in this duel. NC State has challenged one time and won it.
And you see right there, you can see the ref counting. Like I said, you get 5 seconds before you have to come up off that ankle.
1, 2, 3. And he just got to 5. That's what it was.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty easy review. I mean, you can see the referee pretty clearly counting, doing the swipes. He's reached his decision. And it looks like the call stands.
And then Hayes gets caution. We've seen that from several Buckeye wrestlers now. But, hey, if you can do it twice and not get tagged, why not see if you can't?
Yeah, get a little jump.
Yeah, it's like a defensive lineman just trying to time up the snap, right?
Except they get penalized the first time they do it.
There's been plenty of good DNs to go to these two schools, right?
Oh,
Joey Bosa, Mario Williams, just to name 2.
Bradley Chubb.
He might be going to the Browns.
He very
Buckeye
well.
fans, you might be seeing Bradley Chubb of NC State soon. Oh, Donahue's in trouble now. Hayes with 4 swipes.
All 4 back points there. And that's going to break this thing open a little bit.
Keyshawn Hayes continues to pour it on. And this is the depth we're talking about from Ohio State. There are no breaks, no respites, just wrestler after wrestler who are physically talented, skilled, mentally tough. We've seen all of it.
Yeah, and they're all in the national rankings, most of them very high up.
And again, NC State has lost just one duel all season. They've lost just 4 times in the last 3 years. I mean, this is a very, very, very tough team that Ohio State is facing, and they've been this dominant.
Yeah, it's really impressive what the Buckeyes have done here so far this afternoon.
You just don't see, over the last several years, you just do not see NC State down double digits in the team score.
No,
it doesn't happen.
Absolutely not. I mean, even the matches they've lost have been close ones over the years. When they lost to Oklahoma State earlier this year in Italy, that was a 19-16 match.
Right.
That came down to the very end.
Hayes taking his time, setting it up.
He's going to bring him back into the center.
Yeah.
So he's got plenty of room. And look at how just cool and calm he is there with that leg up in the air. Donahue trying to turn it into an advantage of his own.
Boy, he almost had that reversal, but Hayes has got that left arm around the right leg. Good job by our official making sure that wasn't potentially dangerous. He changed his positioning.
And that might do it for Donahue. There it is. And
that's the first two-pointer scored by an NC State wrestler since Wilson had that early takedown of Pletcher.
Oh, yeah. It's been some time.
Back at 133.
And Donahue just tells him to let him up. He wants to get right to work. This is where Bo Donahue does his finest work in the last minute of the match. He's had several wins in overtime, several wins at the end of the match. And you see he just tacked on another point after getting a stalling call against Hayes.
Hayes stalling. It's 8-5 right now, but the ride time is locked up for Keyshawn Hayes. 1 minute and 56 seconds with only 27 left. So Donahue's trying to mount a late charge. You hear this crowd starting to get into it for the first time since 197 pounds.
Yeah, they haven't had a whole lot to cheer about.
No.
But Donahue trying to change that. He just might not have enough time.
And they're so locked up right there, even after the whistle. It took him a second to untangle.
Donahue charging right in. Great job by Hayes there of just going lower than his opponent and getting in on those legs. And he finishes it even right at the buzzer.
Right at the buzzer. Make it 11-5, adding the ride time.
I don't know what it is Ohio State does to drill those last 5 seconds of a period, but they're doing something right the way they've been able to just get those so many times.
(20-3) Buckeyes. And this is one that I've been excited to see all day here. Hayden Hidley, one of just 14 undefeated wrestlers overall. Any class, I should say class in school or any weight class, one of just 2 freshmen that is undefeated against number 7 Micah Jordan.
Yeah, and this is going to be a great one. Micah Jordan, a All-American last year at 149 pounds, placed 4th, and Hayden Hidley trying to do that or better in his debut with the Wolfpack.
Well, he's 19-0. And NC State desperately needing a win here at 165 and 174. Now Hammond and Bullard ranked in some polls, not in others. Ohio State's going to go number 14 and number 6.
Man, when these guys tie up, they are just so heavy-handed. And Hidley is like a bull out there. So strong, so compact. Similar to a lot of these Ohio State wrestlers we've seen.
Trying to finish the regular season undefeated. And just his first go-around.
Can't do any better than that.
You know, as we spoke of at the very top of the show, there's 3 national champions competing today, former national champions. There's several more future ones on the mat that we either have seen or will see. There's a good bet, and Hidley is maybe one of those guys.
Yeah, no question about it. He's one of the young stars in this sport. And a guy the NC State coaches were so excited about last year, but they kept him in red shirt even after an injury at this weight class, and they are reaping the benefits of it now. But he's a guy that would have contended for All-America honors last year, even as a true freshman. See Jordan in on a single leg.
There it is. Jordan, another one of those Ohio State wrestlers coming off a loss. He lost to number 7 Alec Pantaleo of Michigan. looking to bounce back, and so far, everyone for Ohio State has.
Great job by Hidley to get the escape with only 6 seconds left in the period. That would have been real tough if he was not able to get that and went into the second period in a 2-0 hole.
Yeah, able to basically just steal a point. Not that he didn't earn it, but sneak one out at the very end. Couple of swipes for Hidley. 2 points awarded.
That is huge.
So he takes the lead. Now they're tied as Jordan scampers out.
Beautiful job by Hidley to get the 2 points before allowing the escape. And it's a 3-3 now, all tied up. And he nearly wiped away all the riding time that Jordan was able to get up to that point.
Yeah, under 10 seconds of ride time right now in favor of Jordan.
Jordan in on a swing single. Again, not able to finish that time, though. Man, this is such an even matchup between two really talented wrestlers out here.
Jordan was back on his heels only for a moment. And there will not be any late scoring in period number 2. So we'll move to the third, all tied up at 3-3. NC State sitting on just 3 team points.
Hidley is out. I mean, that was under 2 seconds, I think. I must say I would be shocked if we end this one with a 4-3 score.
I was just thinking it's going to come down to who gets the next takedown.
Yep, exactly. Someone's going to get it, I think.
Yeah, there will be. I would agree with you, partner.
You can just see how physical and heavy-handed these guys are in neutral. I mean, they are grinding each other's foreheads against each other. This is just, that's the best way to describe it. This has been a grinded-out match.
Here we go down the stretch. 1 minute left. Hidley driving, couldn't circle around to Jordan's back.
Hidley, little knee pick, wow.
And he stays on top.
That just shows you how strong the redshirt freshman is for the Wolfpack, able to do that against a guy who's a redshirt junior and former All-American.
NC State assistant coach Adam Hall immediately signaling, hey, keep him down. And that's what Hidley was able to do. Jordan's got to find the way back up here and out.
Great job on top by Hidley so far.
Taking a peek at the clock, under 10 seconds. Jordan still not loose. He returns him to the mat.
Nice mat return from Hayden Hidley there. And that's going to do it.
The freshman remains undefeated, 20-0 for Hayden Hidley.
And that wasn't an easy one for Hayden Hidley either, but he gets the victory. He is going to go into the postseason 20-0 as a redshirt freshman. That is a huge victory.
You were right, grind it out. Micah Jordan doing everything he could, very physical. That was a tough match. So we move to 165, and Brian Hammond put on the wrong colors around his ankles.
He wanted to get out there and get started. He just picked up what he saw close to him and went for it. But we mentioned a couple matches so far have been guys that are familiar with each other. These two guys, very familiar with each other. Tayshawn Campbell was at Pittsburgh until transferring to Ohio State prior to this season. These guys actually met in the ACC finals last year. Campbell might have tweaked his knee. You see how heavily it's taped up.
Yeah, immediately the official coming in there to protect him.
The trainer was making his way out to the mat, but I thought Campbell waved him off, but it looks like he is going to let him take a look at it real quick. That's got to be a prior injury that he had going on, and he just...
Well, they're not looking at the knee. I think it's...
I think it's
something head, face, yeah. Let's see if we can't get a replay of exactly what happened.
Well, now they look like they're going to take him off to clean him up, maybe?
And the officials want to look at the monitor, I think, to see.
And he's going back to the locker room, it looks like. Let's see if we can see anything here.
And I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I didn't see any contact with his head. I'm not sure about that one. And right now, Campbell is off the floor and back in the locker room, getting something looked at, worked on, retaped. I'm not 100% sure.
And I can't say I've seen this in a long time.
Here he comes jogging back out, so whatever it was, it looks like it's fixed now. Trainer comes over to the refs and gives him a thumbs up, but
well, good to see him jogging back out. Again, although Ohio State has a dominant team score here, many of these bouts have been very entertaining. Of course, you never want to see someone injured, obviously, but on top of that, just to miss out on one of the bouts would have been really unfortunate.
Yeah, Campbell's a tough guy. He's right back
fine
out there, and he wasn't going out like that.
Campbell's a junior from Pittsburgh. Hammond, a redshirt senior from Jackson, New Jersey. I'm going to Pittsburgh for the first time on Wednesday. Maybe I'll try and ask Tayshawn the best restaurant. Where do I go? Tell me the spot.
I haven't been, so I'm no help to you there, partner.
And you hear the Buckeye fans in the building right now.
Yeah, there are plenty of them here.
And there's Campbell. He'll score first.
And he's going for a turn right away. Not quite able to get it.
I thought he was going to get it.
Yeah, credit to Hammond for staying in his base there. But you can see, I mean, Campbell was riding tight on top. A lot of pressure on his opponent. And if you're Brian Hammond, you are not in a good spot with your head down on the mat. He's got it up now, and he's trying to base back up, but Campbell looks like a beast on top.
Following this, we'll have one final bout at 174 pounds, where we'll see 6th-ranked Bo Jordan against Daniel Bullard of NC State.
So right off the whistle, Campbell's nearly got him broken down again.
So I checked Twitter. I didn't want to speculate at the time, but according to Twitter, they just tested Campbell. He just went through concussion protocol just to make sure that he was fine, which obviously he is because he's back out there. And that was my guess, but again, you hate to guess, to speculate with something like that.
For sure, and you never want to see that, of course, a guy with a head injury. So glad he's back out there. So I mentioned last year these guys wrestled. They actually saw each other twice. Campbell beat them 5-1 in the regular season and then 7-0 in the ACC finals. And if you see Campbell's record, it's 14-8. But man, he has been tested a ton. His RPI ranks number 2 individually. So that gives you an indication of just how tough this Buckeye schedule has been. And a lot of those guys are in the top 5 of the RPI. Nice mat pickup and mat return there from Hammond, but Campbell right back to his feet.
And he's out.
That's just nonstop motion right there. That's how you get out. A guy picks you up, returns you to the mat, you got to get right back to your feet and continue to move. These guys just going back and forth with collar ties and just no openings.
Yeah, Hammond hasn't seen any offense yet.
And Campbell trying to stalk him, look for an opening, but Hammond stayed in pretty good position since giving up that first takedown.
Second period winding to a close and relatively quiet in this bout.
Hammond's got choice. He's going to choose neutral here to start the third after discussing it with his coaches a little bit. But I think it's obvious why. I mean, Campbell, when he was on top, that did not look like a good spot to be in. Just a lot of pressure when he racked up that 119 of ride time that he has currently.
Right.
There was a shot from Hammond, but nothing doing there on the swing.
You'll take bottom if you think you can score an easy point. But, yeah, it didn't look like it was going to be easy against Tayshawn Campbell.
Oh, what a takedown there from Campbell. And this is how impressive the Ohio State lineup is. He is the lowest ranked guy among their 10 starters.
really hard to believe.
Yeah, he's ranked 14th, and I mean the lone guy that's in the teens throughout the entire starting 10. Yeah, and Campbell's got the ride time point locked up now. He's just gone over 2 minutes. And you see we're under 45 seconds left in regulation. There's a little tilt from Campbell.
Might be able to turn this into a major decision if he can get a couple back points here.
And that, I think he got 2 there. No, he did not. I thought the ref made 2 swipes. So Hammond gets called for his second stall call of the match. That's going to be a point, but not quite enough for Campbell to get the major.
7-0.
Identical score to the ACC Finals last year.
So Deshaun Campbell cleanly defeats Brian Hammond. Make it 23-6 Ohio State, and this will be our final bout of the afternoon. 6th-ranked Bo Jordan against Daniel Bullard. And again, Bo Jordan is one of those guys that Coach was talking about. Looking to end his regular season career on a high note. One of those guys that can be All-American for the 4th time of his career this year. Against Daniel Bullard, just a redshirt freshman. So a big experience gap here.
Yeah, no question about it. And Bo Jordan wasted no time getting in on a shot, but nice little scramble there from Bullard to keep it neutral for now at least. It might not be that way for long. And Bullard's actually the one in on the leg right now. Kind of got an awkward way it's locked. And we will get a stalemate and a restart. But you mentioned it, partner. Bo Jordan, a 3-time All-American already. Took 3rd place in 2015 and 2016 at 165. Moved up to 174 last year, and all he did was make the national finals.
That's it?
That's it. And a guy that's obviously looking to end his career on top of the podium this season in Cleveland. Meanwhile, Daniel Bullard, the redshirt freshman from Lawrenceville, Georgia, out here looking for what would unquestionably be the biggest win of his career. And Bo Jordan is just relentless. Gets the shot in that time and almost made it look easy, which is really impressive against Bullard. Bullard is a great scrambler. He is not easy to finish on. And now Jordan going to work on top. There's a turn and a quick pin.
Wow. So just like that, Bo Jordan finishes the afternoon on a high point for Ohio State. They come into Raleigh and beat the Wolfpack, just their 5th loss in the last 3 seasons, and they do it in convincing fashion, in dominant fashion. Add that pin to the total, it's 29-6, the final team score. So today, this year, Ohio State clearly the best team top to bottom, or clearly I should say the better team top to bottom. But again, this was about scheduling tough for both teams, getting ready for their conference tournaments, the NCAA championships, and with this atmosphere and the quality of wrestling we saw today, this was a big, big duel for college wrestling. It was great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the final team score, 29-6 is a wide gap, but a lot of those matches were close, and that doesn't change things. That just makes it a big gap there in the team score, but I thought it was a great match. A lot of good wrestling, a lot of great top 10 matches.
So that'll do it from our broadcast in Raleigh. For my partner, Ryan Tice, I'm Andrew Sanders. Our director is Quan Wright. Thank you all so much for tuning in across the country to watch number 2 Ohio State beat number 6 NC State 29-6, the final tally. This has been a presentation of ESPN.